The University of Otago has announced the selection of a new dean for the Otago School of Medical Sciences. Medical Sciences comprises 5 large departments that undertake a broad range of world-class research from medicine to agriculture. Current head of the Department of Microbiology and Immunology, Professor Vernon Ward, will take up the role. He joins me now. Good evening.
Good evening.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, what's your reaction to being appointed the dean of this prestigious department?
Oh, it's really excited by the opportunity. Really, it's a very good group of departments. They're very large. They do a lot of really good research. They've got a quality teaching program, and to be given the privilege of leading that team is pretty amazing. I'm pretty happy about it.
What do you hope to achieve as dean?
I think the school in general is very strong. The departments have good ethos within them, but it'd be nice to make the school more than the sum of its parts. I'd like to see a lot of collaboration developed between the different researchers. We live in a changing funding environment. I think it would be really good if we could look at building those research teams that can really take on those bigger challenges. I think it's really important we keep that research ethos into our teaching, and we put on a really good teaching program, and I think keeping that going is pretty important.
When do you take up the reins on this one?
1st of October.
What do you think is going to be the most challenging aspect of the role?
It's a big school. There's a lot of staff involved. They do a lot of different activities. I think keeping a common place for everybody to head to is quite a challenge. I think the New Zealand funding environment is quite challenging at present. I think challenges also give you opportunities. There's no two ways around that. But if you think about funding out there, I guess a lot of people might not realise that full-size grants, that maybe success rates around 7%, so 93% fail. It means it's really quality research. The school has a really good record, but those are clear challenges, and we need to adjust to those.
Now, I understand that you'll be continuing your research program alongside the new role. What will you be working on?
So I work on a group of viruses called caliciviruses, and the ones you might have heard of would be the rabbit hemorrhagic disease virus that's used for controlling rabbits, and the other virus is norovirus, which is a very distant relative. So we use the rabbit virus as a carrier for developing vaccines, so we don't use the whole virus, we just use the shell of the virus. We also, with the noroviruses, there's no vaccines, there's no control systems for it, so what we're trying to work out is how does that virus manipulate the host or the cell that it's growing in, and that gives us targets for identifying, that we can identify to develop antivirals.
What are you working on at the moment?
It's really how do those noroviruses adjust the host cell. That's how do they dodge our immune system, how do they change the cell environment that they're replicating in. That's how you identify the targets.
And you've also done some work with virology and insects as well. Do tell.
Yeah, so I guess everybody forgets how many viruses there are out in the big wide world. It's hard to do these estimates, but somebody's estimated there's 100 million times more viruses in the world than there are stars in the universe. Just to give you an idea of how many out there, we live in a sea of viruses, if you will, and so insects get sick too. And so from biocontrol perspectives, means of controlling insect pests, people look at a range of different means of doing that, and viruses is one such way.
There's some groundbreaking research coming out of the university. Do you think that we will see, for example, a cure for cancer or some types of cancer in our lifetime?
I think you'll see definite advances in cancer treatment. I'm quite confident of that. I think some of the really good stuff, some of the school stuff, Perry Guilford's work, for example, around gastric cancer, people's work on breast cancer, I think there's definite advances, colorectal cancer being made, and I think in time we will see significant advances, as we have in the last 10 years.
And what about norovirus? Do you think we'll get a vaccine for that anytime soon?
Possibly. I think there's trials.
Professor Vernon Ward, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.